up, alienARMy? I am Oculus, the alien next door, purveyor of esoteric lore, and on this channel we discuss everything out of this world. So today's topic, we're going to be discussing deja vu, the phenomenon where it feels like and it knows like, and all the sensations that you are experiencing in your now moment have occurred before. It's sort of like you are having a rerun, you have a repeat episode on of your third dimensional physical realm experience. So let's say, for example, I am sitting right here in front of a camera chatting with you fine folks. What would happen if this was an instance of deja vu? It would be me essentially having a flashback, somewhat of a memory of me doing this exact same thing. I do want to clarify that this does not mean that I have not, in my physical realm experience, done this before. I've done this many times sitting in front of this camera. So that's something to put aside in your think box, where you might have driven the same route to a particular place on numerous occasions. It is not that. It is not following some sort of pattern or routine. This is this exact moment, for example, with the camera, that I will know and I will feel and I will sense that this exact moment with me sitting and talking to you in front of the camera has happened before. This has nothing to do with the fact that in my physical realm experience, I have sat in front of this camera in this very same setup many times, because each time I do it is a new now moment, a different now moment, even though I have done the physical maneuverments before in my third dimensional realm. So to clarify what deja vu is, it is like a sudden memory, a sensation, a feeling, a knowing, all of that together, that you have indeed lived before the now moment that you are witnessing and participating in now. So that's just a brief definition of what deja vu means, because it doesn't mean that you have not driven the same route. It does not mean that you have woken up and made coffee every morning. It does not mean that. It means that that exact and precise moment, whatsoever you are participating in and observing and bearing witness to on the third dimensional plane, it is a sensation that you have lived this before, lived that exact now moment somewhere before. Why does this happen? So this occurred to me the other day. I believe it was 2 days ago, but you know, time doesn't exist, so we ain't really about the clocky clock over her, you know. But that sensation happened to me. Now, this sensation happened to me many times. It presented itself to me and I was like, okay, like I remember so many different instances of deja vu, and I'm sure you do too. It's a very common phenomenon, but what exactly does this mean? So 2 days ago, as I said, I experienced a sensation of deja vu, where, just to roughly explain it, because I want to drive this home, it doesn't have to be something sensational or spectacular in your third dimensional realm experience, okay? It can be something mundane. Typically, it is something mundane. So I was walking from the living room into where the kitchen area is, and I was going to make some tea. I believe I was going to make some tea, what have you. I was getting something out of the fucking cupboard, and I believe it was tea, and I had this sensation, this knowing, this feeling that exact precise moment I had lived before. And then boom, I received a download as to what is conveyed to me in regards to what deja vu actually is. So deja vu comes from a French word, pretty obvious, Captain Obvious. Hey. So the phrase deja vu actually comes from French, meaning already seen. And so we can take that quite literally, because the sensation when we're in that deja vu is like we've already been there before, we've already seen it, right? So I'm taking this as well as similar to that phrase maktub, yeah, I don't know, okay, we ain't hooked on phonics up in this bitch, okay? So maktub, whatever the fuck, how you pronounce it, from that book, The Alchemist. So I read this book a while ago, but basically in the book it says maktub, whatever, and that translates from Arabic, and that means it is written. So the reason why I bring this up here is because I am going to be making another video on the maktub, it is written, not in exactly this context, but I am going to be doing that. So if you're interested, stay tuned for that. Either which way, so these two are similar, right? It is written, maktub, or deja vu, already seen, which means that it's something that has already been, it's past tense, right? So this we can look at with our manifestations. Whenever we're trying to manifest something and we experience deja vu, or the sensation of maktub, it is written, comes to us, then we know that this has already transpired, especially in the realm of reality transurfing. I just brought a whole lot of other shit into this video, but stick with me. So if you're familiar with the book Reality Transurfing, it basically explains about how to jump timelines, which is why it's called Reality Transurfing. There's a lot of golden information there, so it's one book that I highly recommend. I personally use it as a workbook, but that's just me. So with reality transurfing, we can know that once we declare something as is, all of the timelines that we perceive in our future have to line up and mold and bend and shape in accordance to what we have already declared, because it's already past tense. It is written, already seen, right? We've seen it from our higher perspective through our third eye, however you want to look at it when you're manifesting. So when someone experiences deja vu, this is essentially, and this is the download that I received in regards to that, because I always wondered what the fuck it was, you know, from like a spiritual perspective, but basically, you know, I received that information, so here we go. It basically means that whatever you have already seen, whatever is written, so to speak, right, you've already declared it, and this is a signal that now you have shifted into a reality where that is possible. So the reason why deja vu occurs is because, again, reality transurfing, if you want more in-depth information, different timelines run parallel to each other, right? It's just dependent upon where our point of consciousness is focused and fixated on the third dimensional realm. So whatever we're looking at, boom, that's a new timeline. So if I were to say that the lights behind me were pink and green instead of turquoise and purple, then I would basically be setting forth, maktub, it is written, now I want to shift to a reality where that is going to happen. So probably in another video, I don't know when, it'll happen naturally, but in another video you're going to see me with, you know, the pink and green lighting. So basically, with this concept of deja vu, what's going on is that we have shifted a timeline, we have jumped a timeline, which is why there's that sort of, if you want to, like, you know, go to like Reddit, glitch in the matrix, things like that, I mean, I implore you to do so if that's something that so behooves you. But with the deja vu sensation, this simply means that the two separate realities have collided, because maybe, for instance, me, when I was walking into the kitchen to make some tea, the reality that I am manifesting now, that I'm creating, that has already been created, it is written, already seen. Now, because of that declaration, I might have in that reality that is desired, the desired timeline, whatever it is, that has already occurred, because the timelines are going to find a juncture point. It's already occurred. So the timeline is going to find a juncture point. Where is the easiest possible place in the timeline? You can pick and choose timelines. Remember, time doesn't exist. Where is the easiest place for this critical juncture to intersect? Where is the place where this critical juncture can actually meet itself? Where can the desired state of being and the current state of being intersect? Where is the easiest place? That is confirmation that you have switched into a timeline. So whichever timeline that you choose, reality transurfing, you can choose, you are going to notice glitches in the matrix, because the best way to do it, and this is why I said deja vu typically occurs when it's during a mundane task, okay? Or if it could even be something as you're sitting in front of your TV and then boom, deja vu occurs, right? Because deja vu is going to find the place of least resistance where you're not consciously worried about the new timeline happening. It's not going to find a place where you're in a state of fear, or if you're a little bit on shaky ground. It's not going to choose that point of intersection where you are disturbed. It's going to choose it during a mundane task. So I'm not saying that it's never happened while something astronomical was occurring, but for me personally, it's always been something mundane. And the reason why is because if there's too much energy occurring at whatever possible potential juncture there is for the timeline to intersect each other, the timeline is going to be like, well, there's too much commotion, there's too much chaos over here. So what I'm going to do is look for another point where something is just mundane, and then I'm going to create the intersection there because there's no resistance. You're not doing anything crazy. So with deja vu, this is simply a confirmation that you have shifted a timeline. Now, you might not be in a state of consciously trying to manifest something near and dear to you. I mean, whatever it is, right? But if you want to think about it, one is always manifesting because one is always having some sort of central focal point in their experience. So let's say if you're making dinner for yourself and you're like slicing veggies and shit, you're not consciously really manifesting. You're not putting a whole lot of effort into making yourself dinner, but you are manifesting something because your focal point is on chopping the veggies, and you know that you were going to have a bomb ass fucking salad after. So that's being created, right? So the same thing when we're creating whatever it is, what we're ready to experience next, the deja vu comes in at a seemingly mundane point, like, aha, I found the magic spot where I'm going to come in and intersect these timelines. So now it's sort of like a railroad track, like if you want to picture a railroad track moving, and then typically there will be different junctures where the tracks meet and they intersect, and it just depends on that particular train's destination. So if you are the train, the railroad tracks are the timelines, and if you've studied like a actual fucking railroad map, you're not gonna see a juncture point on like a rocky cliff with a steep embankment where two different sets of railroad tracks are going to intersect, right? You're not going to see that. You might see one track, right, or two tracks going in different directions on a what would be considered treacherous terrain where the railroad is meandering through, but you're not going to see atop a large cliff where there's known to be icy conditions or whatever. You're not going to see two railroad tracks intersecting because it don't make fucking sense. So it's the same thing with your timeline, right? Like deja vu is this sensation where you're chilling, right? And then boom, okay, nothing crazy is going on. Let's just, whoop, they manifested this. It is written, already seen. We're going to drop it in right there. And then that's where the tracks intersect. So as far as the intersections, now this is what I want to get across here, is that you are constantly jumping timelines. You are constantly switching timelines. And I don't want to put the message out there that's saying the only time a timeline has been jumped is when you experience deja vu, because it's happening constantly. Okay, like my timeline is switching as I'm sitting motherfucking here, right? As is yours. So the deja vu comes into significance when you know that you have been consciously manifesting something. You know already that you are where you want to be. This is the universe's way of, like, here you go. Here's the trajectory. Like, the trajectory has changed. It's sort of like, in a way, like a verification, a confirmation, when it's a message that you need in the moment. So if you need to know, the timeline jump is going to present itself in a form of deja vu, because your mind, for whatever reason, remember, you're creating everything, right? So you might have subconsciously been waiting for a sign or something of that nature. So then guess what? A sign is going to be presented to you. But that does not mean that you are not constantly shifting into different realities. Deja vu occurs when there's some sort of thing within you that you need to know that you have jumped a timeline. So for example, let's say you're trying to manifest something really big and you're just like, how is this gonna happen? I don't know what's gonna happen, right? Like, but you know it's gonna happen. You've already done it, is written, already seen. And let's say there's some sort of clarity that you need to know that the universe has heard you, so to speak, and is delivering your desire. Boom, that's when the deja vu occurs. It's sort of like, okay, we're making you aware. You are making yourself aware, because it all comes from within you. You're making yourself aware that the timeline has been jumped. So that's basically, as conveyed to me, what deja vu means. There's different timelines. This is essentially something that has already been seen, but because of the way third dimensional reality works with time in a linear fashion, this is something that is going to be shown to you in a way of like, look, it's already seen, right? Like the universe is kind of signaling to you with that deja vu moment, your higher self, however you want to call it, is signaling to you, look, it's already seen, we got the message, the timeline has been shifted. So you can shift timelines all the time, but typically deja vu will happen when you need the confirmation that your reality has shifted. And for those who might question, well, what about unaware individuals, that they're not conscious creators, blah blah blah, like why does it still happen to them even if they're not consciously creating their reality? The answer is because they are. As I stated earlier, everyone, no matter who, spiritual or not, they're always creating their reality, but most are on autopilot and they don't realize it. So deja vu, it's still the same type of functionality. Like, here you go, you jumped a timeline. Even if they're oblivious, they're just gonna brush off deja vu like, oh, that was a weird sensation, and leave it alone. They're not gonna be aware, because they're not even aware that they are creating their own reality. So deja vu is operating in accordance to your guidance system that you have within you that is always connected to source. It's just, if you recognize deja vu for what it is, like this is a timeline jump, then you are going to be able to utilize that knowledge and know that, okay, so I just switched a timeline, and it always switches into a better timeline, okay, when you are aware that you are a conscious creator and you recognize deja vu. For those who are creating from a place of where they don't even know that they're creating, the timeline jump, it might or it might not be a new favorable timeline for that individual, because they just don't know. So it really depends on their vibration, what they're manifesting, even if they don't know that they are manifesting. So Deja vu to an awakened one is simply just the universe is like, hey, order confirmation, here's your tracking number, boom, delivery, your order has arrived, right? It's sort of like that confirmation where it's providing you with a metaphorical tracking number from the universe, because now boom, okay, your order has been received, it's been shipped, here's the tracking number, you are now on that timeline that you know that you want, that you are consciously creating. So that's what I was conveyed in regards to deja vu. I am Oculus, the alien next door. We will chit chat again soon.